The HFY warships appeared in Earth's sky without warning. Massive and gleaming, they positioned themselves in strategic formations above major cities. Humanity's most advanced weapons systems couldn't even scratch their hulls. For 3 days, they simply observed, scanning the planet while governments scrambled to respond. Commander Dak stood on the bridge of the flagship, his tall, slender frame rigid with discipline. His gray skin reflected the blue glow of the holographic display showing Earth's terrain and population centers. "Complete the analysis," he ordered. Officer Rin approached, carrying a datapad. Unlike Commander Dak, who maintained perfect composure, Ren's excitement was evident in his rapid movements. "The species calls themselves humans," Ren reported. "Physically inferior to most galactic standards. Average height well below our minimum military requirements. Muscle density approximately 60% of HFY baseline. Skeleton fragile, with multiple vulnerability points." Dak nodded slightly. "Military assessment? Primitive. No energy weapons. They still use combustion and projectiles as primary armaments. Their aircraft cannot leave atmosphere unassisted. Ground forces are divided into nation-states with limited coordination." Ren's mouth formed what passed for a smile in their species. "An easy conquest, Commander." Dak studied the display showing Earth's scattered military bases. "The Emperor expects efficiency. How many legions do you recommend?" "The 7th Legion alone would be sufficient," Ran replied confidently. 12,000 soldiers with standard equipment should secure the planet within 1 lunar cycle." Dak considered this recommendation. The HFY Empire had expanded across 17 star systems using a proven formula: overwhelming force, swift subjugation, and resource extraction. But this planet, while technologically primitive, had an unusually large population. Still, he trusted the analysis. "Very well. Prepare the 7th Legion for deployment. I want landing zones established within 48 hours. On Earth, inside a hardened military bunker, General Kim reviewed satellite imagery of the alien mothership dispatching smaller vessels toward the moon. Her face remained calm despite the tension filling the room. "They're establishing a forward base on the lunar surface," she observed. "Interesting choice. General, we've attempted communication on all frequencies," Colonel Park reported. "They're ignoring our signals." Kim nodded, unsurprised. "They didn't come to talk. Satellite imagery shows only a small portion of their fleet is active," Park continued. "They're not deploying their full force." Kim's eyes narrowed slightly. "They think we're weak. They're sending what they believe is adequate." The room fell silent as the implications settled in. Earth's combined military might was being dismissed as a minor obstacle. "What are your orders, General?" Park asked. "Contact all Allied commands. Implement Protocol Omega-7. Kim's voice remained steady. "And get me everything we have on their landing patterns. If they're underestimating us, we can use that." 3 days later, the first HFY ships entered Earth's atmosphere. Their descent was precise, technical perfection as they landed in remote areas to establish beachheads. Commander Dak watched from orbit, satisfied with the standard conquest procedure. Officer Rin approached with updated intelligence. "The humans are mobilizing their forces, but not in standard defensive formations. They appear to be dispersing." "Primitive tactical response," Dak dismissed. "They lack the technology to engage us directly, so they scatter. Predictable and ineffective." "Sir, I've also analyzed their communication attempts," Ren added. "Before we began landing operations, they transmitted messages in multiple formats. Likely surrender terms or diplomatic overtures." "Irrelevant," Dak replied. "The Empire does not negotiate with pre-spacefaring species. Begin the standard conquest protocol." On Earth, General Kim watched real-time footage of the alien landing sites. Unlike her alien counterpart, she wasn't dismissing intelligence. "They're landing in isolated areas, establishing secure perimeters before expanding," she noted. "Classic invasion strategy. Overconfident. They haven't targeted our infrastructure or command centers, Park observed. They don't think they need to, Kim replied. They believe their technological advantage makes strategy unnecessary. She turned to her staff. That's their weakness. They expect an inferior opponent following predictable patterns. Kim activated the secure communication system, connecting to military leaders across the globe. This is General Kim. The aliens have shown their hand. They're deploying minimal forces because they've judged us as primitive and weak. Her voice carried absolute conviction. They'll learn their mistake. Execute Ghost Protocol immediately. Let them think they understand us, until they realize they don't. As night fell across the first Teklari landing zones, their sensors detected no nearby human forces. Commander Dak received the day's report with satisfaction. The conquest of Earth would be another efficient victory for the Empire. The humans, like all physically inferior species, knew when they were outmatched. He had no idea that the real war hadn't even begun. The first Teklari attack came at dawn. Their hovering vehicles moved in perfect formation toward the nearest human military base. Their battle computers predicted complete surrender within hours. Commander Dak watched from orbit, expecting nothing but a routine victory. First contact with human resistance forces in Sector 4, Officer Rin reported. Our forward units are engaging. The aliens advanced confidently across the open terrain outside Seoul. Their energy weapons flashed blue against the morning sky. The human base ahead appeared quiet, almost abandoned. Strange, the Teklari field commander noted. Sensors show minimal defense activity. Suddenly, the ground beneath the first line of alien vehicles erupted. Not with explosions, but with collapsing terrain. A carefully constructed false surface gave way, sending the advanced machines tumbling into deep pits. Ambush, the field commander shouted as human forces emerged from hidden positions on the surrounding hills. The Teklari soldiers were confused. Their intelligence had shown no tunnel systems or underground fortifications in this area. The humans had created them in just 3 days, working through the nights while alien sensors focused on detecting energy signatures and metal concentrations. Colonel Park directed the ambush from a camouflaged position. Target their communication relays first, he ordered. His soldiers fired specialized rounds designed to disrupt the alien technology. The Teklari formation broke apart as they tried to regroup. They had never encountered an enemy that would sacrifice defensive positions to create an ambush opportunity. It wasn't logical by their military doctrine. Back on the mothership, Commander Dak frowned at the battle display. Why are our units scattered? Reform the attack pattern. Sir, we've lost contact with the forward command unit, Ren reported, confusion evident in his voice. The humans are not defending as predicted. Similar reports came in from across the globe. In the Amazon rainforest, Teklari forces found themselves unable to maintain formation in the dense vegetation. Their standardized tactics, perfectly optimized for open terrain, became a liability among the trees. In the mountains of northern India, alien troops trained for uniform gravity conditions struggled with the steep terrain. Their heavy equipment, designed for efficiency rather than adaptability, became a burden. General Kim reviewed the incoming battlefield reports with grim satisfaction. They expected us to meet them head-on, to defend our bases and cities directly, she told her staff. They don't understand Earth. How long before they adapt? Colonel Park asked through the secure channel. Their technology gives them advantages, but their thinking is rigid, Kim replied. They've conquered other worlds using the same approach. They don't know how to fight any other way. In the Nevada desert, Lieutenant Seo led a small team carrying what looked like modified satellite dishes. They positioned themselves on a ridge overlooking an alien patrol. Frequency locked, Seo's technician whispered. Activating now. The device emitted no visible energy, but below, the alien communications suddenly filled with static. Their coordinated movements became hesitant as orders failed to reach them. Seo smiled. Humans 101, when you can't outgun them, outsmart them. On the mothership, Commander Dak faced growing concerns. This resistance is Unexpected, he admitted to his officers. The humans are not defending their territory in any recognizable pattern. Sir, they're avoiding direct confrontation but attacking our supply lines and communication nodes, Run explained. It's not rational. They must know they cannot win. Dak studied the global map, noting the dispersed pattern of human counterattacks. Increase our deployment by 20%. Add heavy artillery units. Just 20%, sir? Ryan questioned. Should we not bring in the 3rd Legion as well? That would be an overreaction, Dak replied stiffly. These are still primitives with projectile weapons. They've shown tactical flexibility, nothing more. Meanwhile, at a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Kim met with a team of engineers examining captured alien technology. What have you learned? She asked. The lead engineer held up a component from an alien weapon. Their technology is advanced but surprisingly standardized. Once you understand one system, you understand them all. They value efficiency over innovation. Can we use that against them? Absolutely, the engineer confirmed. We've already identified several vulnerability patterns. They never expected their equipment to be captured and analyzed so quickly. As night fell over the battlefields, Teklari soldiers became increasingly uneasy. Their species had excellent vision in daylight but struggled in darkness. The humans, they discovered, excelled at night operations. Small teams of special forces moved silently through alien positions, gathering intelligence and sabotaging equipment. By morning, the Teklari would find vehicles disabled, communications jammed, and occasionally, messages left in places that should have been impossible to reach. They're deliberately trying to frighten our troops, Run reported to Commander Dak. It's effective. Dak's expression hardened. Request modest reinforcements from the fleet. And analyze all human military history immediately. Find their weaknesses. Yes, Commander. What Dak didn't understand yet was that human military history was a chronicle of adaptation. Every page taught the same lesson: those who underestimated humans learned to fear them. And the Teklari were just beginning their education. The Teklari advanced base near Mount Fuji had been established for 14 days. The alien soldiers moved with precision around their equipment, confident in their energy shields and detection systems. None of them noticed the small camera lenses watching from the surrounding forest. Captain Han studied the live feed with her team, hidden in a cave system 2 kilometers away. Their patrol patterns are exactly the same each day, she observed. They never vary the timing. Efficient but predictable, her lieutenant replied. Should we strike tonight? Han shook her head. Not yet. Let's make them wait 3 more days. The psychological operation had already begun. For the past week, Han's team had been leaving small signs of human presence, footprints that appeared overnight, missing supplies, equipment found slightly moved. Nothing overtly threatening, just enough to create unease. On the alien mothership, Officer Rin delivered his daily report with growing concern. Commander, we're seeing unusual behavior from our ground forces. Units are requesting additional perimeter scans and security measures. Commander Dak looked up sharply. Against what threat? The humans have no technology that can penetrate our defensive screens. It's not a technological concern, sir. It's... Ron hesitated. Psychological. Our soldiers report evidence of human observation. They feel watched. Dak dismissed this with a wave. Sensor malfunctions. The humans are clever with their guerrilla tactics, but they cannot breach our security. That night, Captain Han's team moved silently through the forest. Each soldier carried a small device developed by reverse engineering alien technology. At precisely midnight, they activated the devices simultaneously. Inside the alien base, every communication system began playing the same sound, a simple human heartbeat, amplified and steady. It lasted exactly 60 seconds before disappearing without a trace. The Teklari soldiers were disturbed in a way they had never experienced before. Their species valued order and predictability. This mysterious intrusion, leaving no evidence, defied their understanding. Commander Dak received the report with growing frustration. How did they access our secure communication channels? This is impossible. Officer Wren looked uncomfortable. Sir, there's more. Our medical unit reports increasing stress indicators among the ground forces. Several soldiers have requested transfers. Transfers? We are the Teklari. We do not fear primitives. Dak slammed his fist on the console. Find how they are doing this and stop it. Meanwhile, General Kim met with her psychological operations team. How effective is our campaign? The lead analyst showed her the latest intelligence. The aliens are showing signs of stress we didn't expect. They appear to have no psychological training for asymmetric warfare. Their entire military doctrine is based on overwhelming force and technological superiority. Kim nodded. And when those advantages are questioned, they begin to doubt, the analyst finished. Their rigid hierarchy means they can't adapt quickly without orders from above. And their commander appears unwilling to acknowledge the problem. At the alien forward base in the Amazon rainforest, a patrol failed to return. Search teams found their equipment perfectly arranged in a clearing, with no signs of a struggle. The soldiers had simply vanished. The truth that they had been captured using tranquilizers and removed for intelligence gathering was less important than the message it sent. The humans could take Teklari soldiers at will. Similar incidents began occurring at bases worldwide. Sometimes equipment would malfunction in ways that shouldn't be possible. Other times, soldiers would hear voices speaking in their own language through their personal communication devices. Captain Han's team executed their final psychological operation on the 15th night. They didn't attack or sabotage. Instead, they left a single object in the center of the alien commander's private quarters, a hand-drawn map of the mothership's interior layout. The message was clear: we can reach you anywhere. The base commander immediately requested extraction. His report cited unconventional warfare beyond standard parameters. 3 other base commanders made similar requests the same day. On the mothership, Commander Dak faced a situation he had never encountered in 17 successful planetary conquests. Sir, Wren reported quietly, our ground forces are showing signs of fear. Fear? Of what? Primitive weapons? Inferior beings? Dak's voice rose. Not of their weapons, sir. Of their methods. Wren displayed footage from body cameras showing empty bases where humans had entered without triggering alarms, impossible feats of infiltration, and psychological operations that seemed designed not to kill but to unsettle. They fight as if they know us better than we know ourselves, Wren concluded. Our soldiers are calling one human unit the ghosts, they come and go without trace. Dak stared at the reports flooding his console. The humans weren't fighting to win battles, they were fighting to break the Teklari spirit. And somehow, against all logic, it was working. Send the report to High Command, Dak finally ordered. Request a tactical advisor with experience in psychological warfare. The response came swiftly: no such specialist exists in Teklari military doctrine. For the first time in his career, Commander Dak felt something unfamiliar. The humans had introduced the Teklari to a new emotion. They had taught them fear. The reinforcements arrived in Earth orbit with a display of power meant to intimidate. 5 massive Teklari warships, each carrying thousands of fresh troops and advanced weaponry. Commander Dak stood straighter as Admiral Toll entered the command center of the mothership. The situation is under control, Dak reported, trying to project confidence. The humans have unusual tactics, but with these reinforcements, we will crush their resistance within days. Admiral Toll, a veteran of dozens of conquests, studied the battle displays without speaking. Finally, he turned to Dak. You have lost 8 forward bases in 20 days. Your troops report seeing humans where sensors detect nothing. Explain this. Before Dak could answer, alarms blared across the command center. Officer Wren rushed to his station. Sir! Energy signatures detected at multiple landing zones. the view screens showed something impossible. Human soldiers were using modified Techlari weapons. The energy signatures were unmistakable, but the weapons had been altered, made more efficient. How did they? Admiral Toll began. Lieutenant Seo. Fire when ready. General Kim's voice was calm despite the tension surrounding her in the underground command center. On screens around her, teams of human soldiers equipped with reverse-engineered alien technology moved into position. The Techlari had never faced an enemy who could adapt their own technology against them so quickly. Human engineers had worked day and night studying captured equipment, finding weaknesses the aliens never expected to be discovered. In orbit, Admiral Toll watched with growing alarm as human forces launched coordinated attacks on 3 continents simultaneously. These primitives should not be able to operate our weapons, let alone modify them. Commander Dak had no answer. The humans had broken every rule of warfare as the Techlari understood it. On the battlefield outside what had been the largest alien base in North America, Major Moon led his battalion through the smoldering ruins. His soldiers carried hybrid weapons, Techlari energy systems mounted on human-designed frames, modified for Earth's gravity and human physiology. They never imagined we could understand their technology so quickly, Moon told his lieutenant as they secured the command center. They designed their systems to be efficient, not secure. The aliens had built their entire military strategy around technological superiority. When that advantage began to disappear, their tactical doctrine fell apart. Admiral Toll ordered a full strategic retreat to the moon base. "We will regroup and return with overwhelming force," he declared. This has become a matter of imperial security. But the Techlari weren't given time to regroup. General Kim had anticipated this move. As the alien ships began withdrawing troops from Earth, they faced something they never expected: a human attack on their lunar outpost. Captain Han had trained her Special Forces team in secret for this mission. Using captured alien shuttlecraft and breathing systems, 60 human soldiers landed on the dark side of the moon, approaching the Techlari base from an angle their sensors weren't monitoring. "Remember, psychological impact is our primary objective," Han reminded her team as they prepared to breach the airlock. "They believe we cannot reach them here. Proving them wrong will cause maximum damage to their morale." The moon base housed the Techlari's central command structure and main supply depot. When Han's team infiltrated it, they didn't try to destroy it. Instead, they left evidence of their presence in the most secure areas, including Admiral Toll's private quarters. When the Techlari ships arrived at the moon base, they found human footprints in the lunar dust outside critical entrances and a simple message written in their own language on the main command screen: "Nowhere is beyond our reach." On the mothership, the first signs of true breakdown began to appear. Junior officers questioned orders. Soldiers requested transfers from Earth deployment. 3 squad leaders refused to return to the surface, claiming the humans moved like ghosts and knew our thoughts before we did. Admiral Toll faced the first mutiny in Techlari military history. "This is unacceptable," he shouted at the gathered officers. "They are primitives. Physically inferior. How can you fear them?" Officer Ren, who had observed the entire campaign, spoke quietly. "Because they fight differently than anyone we've ever faced. They don't follow our rules or patterns. Every time we adapt, they change tactics." The Techlari military was built on certainty and predictability. The humans had introduced chaos into their perfect system. And chaos, for the Techlari mind, was terrifying. In her command center, General Kim reviewed reports of the aliens' faltering morale with grim satisfaction. "They expected us to be predictable," she told her staff. "They thought physical strength determined military prowess. They never considered that being smaller, being the underdog, taught humanity to think differently." Admiral Toll sent an urgent message to the Imperial High Command: "Situation unprecedented. Request immediate intervention and strategic reassessment." The response would take days to arrive. By then, the breaking point would already have been reached. The Imperial Evaluator's ship arrived with little fanfare. Unlike the massive warships of the Techlari fleet, this vessel was sleek and unadorned. It moved into Earth orbit silently, broadcasting no threats or demands. Inside the mothership's command center, Admiral Toll and Commander Dak stood rigidly at attention. Evaluator Nam was known throughout the Empire for his cold efficiency and complete lack of mercy toward failure. "Explain," Nam said simply as he studied the battle displays showing Techlari retreats across Earth's surface. Admiral Toll stepped forward. "The humans employ unconventional tactics. They refuse to engage directly. They use psychological warfare beyond our doctrine. They have adapted our technology with impossible speed." Nam's eyes narrowed. "You command the most advanced military force in 17 star systems, yet you speak of primitives as if they were superior." "Not superior," Dak interjected quickly. "Different. They fight as if defeat is not possible. They continue when logic dictates surrender." Before Nam could respond, alarms blared. Officer Ren's voice shook as he reported, "Multiple launch signatures detected. The humans have deployed their nuclear arsenal." The command center erupted in chaos as tactical officers scrambled to respond. But something was wrong. The nuclear missiles weren't targeting the mothership or any Techlari positions. Instead, they arced high into the atmosphere and detonated in a precise pattern. Nam watched with growing concern. "What are they doing?" On Earth, General Kim stood with her unified command staff as they initiated the final phase of Operation Checkmate. The nuclear detonations weren't meant as attacks. They created a precisely calculated electromagnetic pulse that swept across the region, following a mathematical sequence the human scientists had decoded from Techlari communication patterns. "Signal confirmed," her communications officer reported. "All Techlari ships receiving our transmission." Kim nodded and stepped forward to deliver the message herself. "This is General Kim of Earth's Unified Defense Command. Your invasion has failed. Your troops are demoralized. Your tactical doctrine has been compromised." In the mothership command center, Nam listened with growing disbelief as the human general continued. "We could continue this conflict," Kim's voice stated clearly. "We could adapt more of your weapons. We could further degrade your force's psychological condition. But we prefer peace to victory." Admiral Toll looked to Evaluator Nam for guidance. "Sir? How do we respond?" Nam studied the tactical displays showing the coordinated human offensive across all fronts. The primitives had somehow orchestrated a synchronized attack on every remaining Techlari position. Their modified weapons were breaking through shields calibrated against standard energy signatures. Their special forces were inserting into positions deemed impenetrable. "They've been holding back," Nam realized aloud. "This entire time, they were learning, adapting, waiting." Kim's voice continued, "We propose immediate cessation of hostilities. Withdrawal of all Techlari forces from Earth space. And formal recognition of Earth as a sovereign, protected world." Evaluator Nam had overseen 17 planetary conquests during his career. He had never once considered negotiations with a pre-galactic species. But he was also a practical leader who recognized an untenable position. "Open a direct channel," he ordered. General Kim sat alone in the communication chamber, facing the alien leader whose features appeared on the large screen before her. She showed no fear, no intimidation. "Your terms are unusual," Nam began. "The Empire does not typically negotiate with developing worlds." Kim's expression remained calm. "This is not a typical situation. You calculated our worth based on physical attributes and technology level. That was a mistake." "A mistake the Empire has not made before," Nam admitted. "Because you never encountered humans before," Kim replied simply. The negotiations lasted 3 days. When they concluded, the Techlari fleet began withdrawing from Earth orbit. The invasion that was supposed to last weeks had ended in the first major defeat in Imperial history. On the mothership's observation deck, Evaluator Nam stood with Officer Run, watching Earth grow smaller as they departed. "The High Command will want a complete analysis," Nam said. "What did we misunderstand about these humans?" Run considered the question carefully. "We judged them by standards that made sense to us. Physical strength. Technological advancement. Resource efficiency. We never considered adaptability, psychological resilience, or creative thinking as military assets. Nam nodded slowly. And yet those proved more valuable than all the advantages we possessed. As the Teklari fleet jumped to faster-than-light travel, leaving the Sol system behind, a new classification was entered into the Imperial database. Earth was categorized not as a primitive world of physically inferior beings, but as something the Empire had never designated before. A world to be approached with extreme caution. A species to be respected rather than conquered. A reminder that true strength takes many forms. And in the classified notes, visible only to Imperial High Command, a simple warning was added: they taught us fear. Never underestimate humans again.